All right, folks. Woo! We're back again, y'all. It's Tuesday. Me and Dusty riding again. And like I say every week, y'all, we do it like this every Tuesday from 6 to 7. And here we go. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve After Dark to concerts in the park, you're live with your boy Lonzo, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. Standing by in the dugout is my main man, the Dusty One. Here we go, here we go, here we go. What up, Doc?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. How you feeling today after that busy week last week?
I'm just now getting about 95% back to Lonzo. Shit, it was rough. I can't complain, but I loved every minute of it.
I could hear it in your voice, my man. Let's before we talk about some trending topics out there, let's go over last Friday, man. It was a magical night. I got a chance to in film festival in Czechmanary. Great time. Such good vibes, man. Overall,
and I was really happy.
Everything went down.
It was really, I was really happy. I got to give my boy Edwin a big shout out for coordinating the red carpet for me because I wasn't gonna have a red carpet at first. I was gone, I was gone all week, and I got some numbers that didn't make no sense to me. And he like, let me check into it. Let me see what I can do. All right, man, make it happen. You can make it happen. We'll do it. And he made it happen, man. So we made it happen. He pulled it off. It was beautiful. I got a lot of surprises. My boy Jay King from Club N.W.A, he fell through. My boy, I saw Kern Price, one of the city councilmen came through. Steve Bradford came through, state senator. So it was really a great event, man. I can't complain about it at all, Doc. It was 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I gotta agree, man. It was a beautiful documentary, and one of the parts that I enjoyed the most. And it was when you were talking about your father, man. And I can't even lie, I was crying. The lady next to me was crying. The OG next to me and to the left of me was sniffling. I mean, it was a very emotional thing, man. I just hope my son talks about me the way you talk about your father.
Yeah, Doc, it's hard not to, man, because without him, I wouldn't be me. He gave me everything I got. He gave me my style, my swag. He gave me life. Shit. He put me in business. We fell out. We fell out one time, man. We fell out when I decided to be a DJ. He had me all pegged to be the next Caltrans supervisor. And I was gonna do it. I had a kid. I was under pressure. He put me under pressure. I got to get you a good government job, and you can make do in healthcare and dental care and take care of your kids. I had a house. My mama just passed. I was already pretty much living in her house. And I got bit by the DJ bug, man. And I finally told him I wasn't going to be a DJ. That was the first and only time in my life we ever fell out. And dude, he was upset. And I broke his heart. And but now that was my fuel to make this shit work because, I didn't upset my dad. And like I said, for the first time, we fell out. And now I got to make it work because if I don't, I'm really going to be fucked up. So he was cool. He put me, even though I hadn't been successful yet, he turned me on to Jeffy. And when I made it happen, he still would come to the club and hang out. He still wanted me to go to work for Caltrans. I said, dude, I am not working Friday and Saturday night and go to work on Caltrans on Monday morning. That ain't going to work for me, okay? You can still DJ on the weekends and work. No. Do you know how much money I'm making? Do you know how much money I make on the weekend? I said, no. I had a whole week to do nothing, and he didn't understand that. And it wasn't until he got into a financial tight, I came to the rescue without him asking that everything, he realized it was going to be all right. He had bought a house, and he had a balloon payment, but $2,000. And he was stressing. I got to give him over $2,000. He wasn't even asking me for the money. How much? 2,000, man. I came by the pad one day with a shoebox with the money in it. He looked at me like I was God, and he wasn't mad no more. he wasn't mad no more.
That's dope. I have a similar story. A lot of my family have been working at the docks for years, at the Long Beach docks. And when I turned 18, I was next in line. Hey, we got you this job. You're gonna be good. You just gotta, work these hours, and you're set for life. And I had a different plan, and I'm glad that I decided. They were pissed. My whole family, you're crazy. You're turning down the fucking docks, longshoremen, this and that. Look, man, I want to do something else. I want to do something else, and I'm so glad looking back that I made that decision. How different for you, Lonzo, because we all think about the butterfly effect thing, like if one thing happened, how it would change everything. But how different would hip hop be if you decided to go and work for Caltrans, man, and just say, you know what, I'll do the DJ thing every once in a while?
I tried to, man. I at one point I had actually retired from DJing. I was working Caltrans during the summertime on the summertime program, and I gave it up. I was walking around here wearing work boots every day, wearing khakis, and coming home dirty, staying dirty till it was time to go to bed. I never forget my partner's sister, Darcelle, who's a good friend of mine to this day. She was having a apartment rent party or something like that, and she invited me to the rent party, and the DJ was whack. And I told my girl, I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna stop by my boy's spot for a minute and see what's happening. I fell up in there. I got on work clothes, but I don't give a damn what I'm wearing. I'm still me. And I went in there and started rocking that party, man. And I was like, fuck this. I can't get this up. I turned that motherfucker out. I shortly after that, I was back. I was like, fuck this. I can't retire. I wasn't but shit, maybe 20. I can't get this up. And that was it, man. Once I did that party, I was like smoking crack for me. I was back. I was hooked again. So yeah.
Love it, man. Who are some of the people, and I got to speak up, man. I'm kind of low today myself. It's been a rough day for myself. But who are some of the people that made this possible, man? Like, who are some of the people that
documentary?
If they weren't around this documentary,
first and foremost, Velo, man, my boy David Velo Stewart. I met him through one of my cousins. He was helping me with another project, and the other project, which pretty much was a rap. He's like you. He's a he's a hip hop head, DJ, hip hop head, and he might be right around your age. In fact, if I'm mistaken, he's in his 40s. And we hit it off. And the other project, my other partner, professor, he has that covered, and they was coming in to help. And he said, "Man, we could do something else to enhance what they're doing." And the Super Bowl hit, and like, dude, let's do it. And he was one of the main guys. Him, Aaron Mundy, Aaron Velo, Q Money, what's the name? Q Nice. I'm sorry, Q Nice and Money Train. Those are the main guys that helped put this thing together and made it what it is. Yep.
Who was the lovely lady that interviewed you?
Sophia, I think her last name was Ely, if I'm mistaken. Fine. Oh my God. You know what? They was laughing at me because I told this shit. I told nobody else. You never told me that. Anyway, you ain't as pretty as she is.
Exclusive shit.
Yeah, you ain't as pretty as she is. You can't. Nah. Talking to fellas and talking to girls.
Very beautiful lady, man. And she kept it going. It was a fun conversation.
Yeah. She brought stuff out of me that they couldn't get out. The stuff I just. They couldn't get out of me. Well, I don't know what it was, but I know she was fine. That's the main thing. She just was fine, and I just started talking. That's all. Yeah. So changed the whole.
I had a female co-host for 4 years, man, and yeah. No, I had a female co-host for 4 years, man, and the guests have told me the same thing. I say stuff around females that I would never say
you say it in a different way. You even talk different. I'm more laid back, and it's just talking to a female that's interesting, that could that seems interested in what you're saying. Just makes it that much better.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about a few people that were involved and were there on Friday. But tell us about AK King and his importance to hip hop and pop locking and how you guys met.
AK is the OG king of pop. He won more contests than anybody at Eve After Dark. He got more of my money than anybody else. And he's a cool brother, man. He's a super talented brother. I met him at Eve. He's 16, 17 years old. Talented dancer, super cool. And the boy can sing, play piano, dance. He's He's all that when it comes to talent. And like I said in the documentary, at one point in time, I was prepared to be his manager, man. I was ready to let's do this. Okay. And life changed for him. He joined the service. I was brokenhearted. Here's the crazy part, man. This is a real story. We had disappeared. We had lost contact for about 10, 15 years, dude. About 10 to 15 years, we had lost contact. And Michael Collier, the comedian, his wife, Brooke, she called me one day. She knew I had the studio. She says, Lonzo, I need a studio for my daughter. She sings and she wants to use the studio. I said, well, cool. I got a studio here. You know, let's talk about some money. So she said, okay, fine. Money, no problem. I want to have my her producer give you a call to see if you have what he needs. All right, cool. So the producer calls and we start talking. I mean, I need this keyboard. I need that keyboard. I said, what's your name? He said, my name is Anthony. I said, cool. He said, what's your name? I said, my name is Lonzo. He said, Lonzo what? I said, Lonzo Williams. What's up? He said, Lonzo Williams? You ever have a club named Eve After Dark? I said, yeah. So this is the king of pop. We both started crying like bitches. Oh man, where you been, motherfucker? Oh. And man, he came by the pad that day. Brought me a demo tape on a cassette. He was singing. Man, I loved that album so much. I took that album straight to Larkin Arnold. I took it straight to Larkin Arnold, my executive producer at the time. He loved it. Gave him a record deal. No bullshit. Gave him a record deal, and we hooked up. We stayed in contact after that. Then I found out somebody who I'd met on the road, who I had the same road manager as. I had a road manager named, we called him Boss Hog. His name was Randy Rand. Randy introduced me to this group out of Sacramento a few years earlier called Timex Social Club. And Jay King and Anthony King is first cousins. I'm friends with both of them. Didn't even know they were cousins. So we just have a circle, man, of respect and kinship. That's just a mother, man. That's okay. What can I tell you?
Right, though, man. Shout out AK. What about Battle Cat? DJ Battle Cat was there. Legend in this game. Tell us about your history with
Battle Cat joined the Wrecking Crew after Dre left. When I went on tour, Turn Off the Lights tour, Battle Cat took up the DJ job here at Wrecking Crew, and he stepped on stage and did his thing, and we rocked for a while. I got more Battle Cat stories than I got anybody's stories. I ain't gonna tell them on the show because some of them is crazy as hell. But I ain't gonna do him like that. But yeah, that's my dude, man. That's my dude.
Yeah, man. Shout out Battle Cat, dude. No matter the genre, who is the most talented all-around person to come out of Eve After Dark? Like, if you personally could sign, I guess you answered it with AK King, but let's maybe someone else you have. But if you could sign someone that came out of Eve After Dark, whether comedian, rapper, singer, who is the most all-around talented person to come out of your camp?
Rapper would definitely be Rob. Comedian definitely would be Robin Harris. At that time, I'd have bet on AK before I bet on Dre. At that time, okay, there was no indication. We hadn't done a record yet. There was no indication that we hadn't even formed a Wrecking Crew yet. We were still DJs at Eve After Dark. So it was no indication that he would ever, we was going to be producing records like that or whatever. So AK would be my first managing gig, because I never wanted to manage anybody. He's the only person I ever wanted to manage. I don't care for the managing situation, but he was one of the first people I ever wanted to manage. Singer wise, female singers, Joelle was a regular at Eve After Dark. Okay. She was a regular and he won all the singing money. Okay. I gave showcases and talent shows all the time. She won all the singing money. Okay. Back then. So yeah, Doc, those are probably my top three. What's up, Craig? I see you in the house, Doc. Much love to you.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
Schweisinger?
Skateland is in the house.
Shout out to Schweisinger. Shout out to Schweisinger. I think I said that right. I hope I said. I know you've known it for 30 years. You still say it
I
wrong.
still fuck it up. Schweisinger, yes. I used to call him Schlesinger. I call him all kind of shit. Yes, sir. But Joelle was my girl.
All right. Joelle. Yeah. So she has since passed, unfortunately, and we talked about her when she passed. But her and her sister were really close. You know her sister also, right? Who was
Lachelle?
pretty outspoken. Yeah, she was a comedian as
Lachelle,
well.
they're not. They real tight though. They're not sisters.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
They both go back to even after dark. They was 14, 15 years old. Lachelle told me I used to come back in your club when I was 14. Little fast ass. But yeah, we could. Yeah, it wasn't illegal about that she did. She thought she was getting away with something, but we didn't have an age limit. I made it 18 on my own because I didn't want it to be romper room shit. I wanted to be more of a club as opposed to a goddamn daycare. So I raised it at 18 and over. We could have had a minute 14, but no problem.
Nightbreed says, "Yo, Dusty, Vision, and Lonzo, could y'all explain the Bone and Skulls banner on the front album cover of Eazy Does It?" Eazy was always doing that stuff to get a
Eazy like
people, right?
fucking with y'all.
Like that, with the devil.
Eazy like fucking with y'all. Okay, that was one of his things. Eazy knew if he did certain kind of shit, it was gonna be conversational or controversial, however you want, whatever word you want to put.
He knew how to
go viral before it was even possible. Yes, sir. That was his thing. He understood by wearing that straight jacket and playing with guns and glasses with one eye in them and allegedly playing with Ouija boards and shit like that would get people talking about him. So he knew how to go viral before he went viral. He would do shit like he would go and do an interview and only talk to Ren or somebody. He'd sit there with wouldn't say nothing, like he was crazy or something, and just whisper to Ren, and Ren would tell the guy what he wanted him to say. Shit like that. He would fuck with people. Eazy knew his role. Well, I'm sorry, he created his role, he knew his role, and he played his role. Okay, and you can't get mad about that. The dude was a totally different person in real life, and I knew him personally, like I know Dusty. He's a totally different person, one of the nicest guys you want to meet, but he had a role to play. He hung out with rock and rollers who did the same shit. Him and homeboy from what's it?
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses. They was tight. Jerry Heller used to manage one of these guys. Okay, so they knew he had an insight to being quirky that most cats didn't have. Axl Rose, thank you, Axl Rose. Yeah, he was tight. Jerry Heller was tight with Axl Rose. Eazy was tight with Axl Rose. So they knew how to they knew how to get people's attention.
A couple people want to know how New York was and what you were doing out there.
Man, New York was actually pretty damn cool, man. It was really interesting, Doc. As the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, I was on a 7-person team to work with Michael Bloomberg, Harvard leadership, leadership, something or another. Bottom line is I've been taking a class for the past 5 weeks. The 6th week we spent in New York. I got 10 more classes to take, and I get a certificate in leadership. Okay. And once the certificate is completed, the program is completed, Compton should qualify for a grant for beautification. And basically all we were doing was learning how to address different problems and how to formulate problems and break them down and figure out what the roots are. So when you go to fix something, you go to fix the problem, you want to fix the root. It's like cancer. You don't want to just cut the top off. You want to go find the root of the cancer, cut the whole damn thing out, and nuke all of that shit if you can, or cut the whole cancer out. And that's what we were learn how to do from a problem-based scenarios. It was very intense. It was first class all the way, baby. I'm in the bathroom. I'm like, why is this remote control on the bathroom? I got the remote control and pushed the button, and a TV came on in the mirror. I'm like, oh shit, this is the bomb. Okay, you could take a dump or a shower and watch the news. Okay, the Bloomberg building that we had held our classes in, man, it was some futuristic shit that I had never experienced before in my life. I've been around money before, man. I've been around money before, and billions is different from millions. I just seen. I know people with millions. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Billions is Disney feeling. It feels like Disney. What I mean by that is when you go to Disneyland, they got so much money in Disneyland. If you go to Disneyland, think about Disneyland. There is no dead leaves on trees. Nothing is out of place. Not a blade of grass is out of place. Not a limb out of place. You don't see no vomit because people throw up on the rides all the time, but you never see it. Okay. If somebody weighs something that's only on the ground for maybe 30 seconds, people, you got a lot of people coming through Disneyland, but you don't ever see the effects of all this traffic. Okay. And it's the same thing when I see Bloomberg, only another level. I mean, where he works at, the building he owns, everybody eats free lunch and dinner all day long. Okay. There, everything works. Everything is, I mean, it's a lot of millennials working there. I call them DGZs. WDZs, walking digital zombie, because everybody's doing this shit right here.
Oh yeah. With the arch in their back.
Everybody's looking at their phones the entire time they're walking. Some of the most tight security I've ever been around in all my life. They got guards everywhere. You can't change rooms without somebody. Can I help you, sir? I mean, very nice, but can I help you, sir? And you know this dude was a guard because he's about 5 foot wide with an earpiece in his ear. But it was dope, man. It was super dope. I can't say nothing bad about it, man.
Love it, man. Love it. Hey, that interview with Eazy-E that you were talking about earlier was on Arsenio Hall. What do you remember about Arsenio's come up? Because I was at the age where he just showed up on my TV one night, and here's this guy, and he's entertaining, and he's bringing on cool people. But what do you know about his come up? And apparently, he was a real funny stand-up comedian before that, making his rounds.
Arsenio, like everybody else, man. And here's one of the things I wish I had a phone back then, because on Sundays, me and Unknown, and sometimes my girls, whatever, we'd always go to the Comedy Store in Hollywood. At the Comedy Store in Hollywood in the 80s, you saw everybody. You saw Richard Pryor. You saw Jay Leno. You saw Arsenio Hall. You saw, people, Eddie Murphy. I mean, regular. I mean, trying to get up and couldn't get up all the time. Okay? And Arsenio was one of those guys. Paul Mooney was the closer at the, he would always close. He was so controversial. You could tell when Paul Mooney came on because the room would shift. White people would leave, black people would come in. Okay. Black people got there about 11. So Paul Mooney went on about 12:30, maybe 12 o'clock. And as soon as he started talking about white people, they start boning out. Well, Arsenio was one of those guys that came up in that era. And I never thought he was that funny. He was always cool, but he wasn't that funny to me. He never made me just roll over laughing like Eddie and Richard and everybody else did. He got a good chuckle out of me, okay? But when it came to his television show, he was hard to beat. He had more of a Johnny Carson, a black Johnny Carson appeal than he did a Richard Pryor comedian appeal, okay? His stand-up was okay because he came up in that era, but when it came to the hosting part, he had that on lock. I mean, it was the same thing when you go down to the when they started when we left the Comedy Store. My boy Michael Williams opened up the Comedy Act Theater, and that was exclusively for black comedians. All the Wayans, Robin Harris was the host. All the Wayans, Eddie Murphy, everybody came to that spot. AJ Johnson. Everybody came up through the Comedy Act Theater. And Arsenio Hall was one of those acts too. Now again, I'm sitting there, why? When he got his show, I was confused. Why he got a show and nobody else got a show? But he was good at the show. He just wasn't as funny to me. That's all.
A little safe to say he was safe, to put in quotes, for the he won't scare the white
right.
He
He was safe. He was very safe. Okay. He knew how to play. He knew how to play the game.
Sinbad would be
Sinbad,
in
oh
there
man,
too.
Sinbad was a monster. He was a monster back in the day, dude. I mean, he was a clean monster, and that's what made it so cold. He was just a clean monster. You know, I ain't say rest, but I hope he gets better, man. I love to see him do his comedy again. He had a stroke. I would love to see him do his comedy again, man. He was a funny dude. I met him at the NAM show a few years back, man. He's a cool brother, man. Real cool brother. But Arsenio, he definitely was.
Is he the one that got into it with friendly with the? Oh,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's an echo, so there's a little slight hesitation. Is he the one that got into it with Robin?
Yeah.
Back and forth, and everybody was just
Robin Harris.
Robin
Harris and Sinbad got into a bagging session. And dude, it was so funny that people literally had to run out the room just to get air. You know, you ever laugh so hard you can't breathe? Dude, you couldn't breathe. You could not breathe. It was so hard. People just get up and start running out the room just to get some air to stop hearing this shit, because if you keep hearing it, you're going to fucking die, okay? It was like that, dude. They gave Robin Harris, Sinbad a microphone, man, and him and Robin just went back for it like two gunslingers, and they was knocking each other down every step. Every time those two fighters, they were bam, 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 bam. It was like watching a Rocky movie. You know, Apollo Creed hit him with a 1-2 piece, and Rocky come back with a 3-piece. And it was back and forth. It was just a cold heavyweight bout. Yes, right, Martin. It was a cold heavyweight bout, man. That almost killed 40 people that day. Dude, we had to run up out the room.
Love that story, man. Love that story. So let's wrap it up with the documentary before we move on to the nigga verse. But what's next for the documentary?
Got some meetings. People interested in it. Got a phone call. Might have another screening coming up sometime. Hopefully, it looks like it might be in Long Beach. In another film festival. The Mouche Film Festival takes place in June. If it's not placed by then, we'll be in that as well. It's just. Right now it's a new grind. We got some more changes to make, and but we got some. We got 95% of what we want already. There's a couple of new things. People came to the screening who should have been in the documentary and like, oh my God, I didn't realize what you guys have done, man. Please. Oh no, yeah, okay, you got that. So that's where we are right now.
Nightbreed has an interesting question. Why wasn't Eve After Dark on the breaking movies instead of Radiotron?
Because Eve After Dark was on the east side, and people don't come to the east side unless you invited. That's the difference.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we was on the east side, but we Eve After Dark is right there near Watts and Compton in the 80s. You not coming across over there unless you know where you're going, okay? And that was different. Radiotron was right there off of Wilshire and by Echo Park. So it was a little bit safer, closer to Hollywood, and you get your ass out there a lot faster.
You mentioned Uncle Jam's Army being it was the battle for LA. That was your main competition. But who are some of the other maybe promoters or clubs in LA that were your direct competition back in those days?
Well, they had a couple of clubs. I would never call them competition because the Eve After Dark just had a whole different thing going. They had the Showcase. That's what Disco Daddy started at back in the day. He was on Adams, and my brother used to go there all the time. That's when I first heard of Disco Daddy, was at the Showcase. Then they had the Workshop, which was on Western, 91st and Western, and they were kind of our competition, but they had to close early. But we was open till 6 o'clock in the morning, so couldn't nobody fade that. Dance promoters wise, there was the godfather of dance promoters is a guy by the name of John Carter. His company was called JC2. He did the Proud Bird, and back then his house band was Ohio Lakeside Express, which later became Lakeside. So I'm in the 10th grade going to his dances, watching him. And you had LSD Promotions who came up right behind them, or right behind him. They were big dogs for a while. Then V-Cars and Elite Productions, and then me and Roger came in around the third round of the dance promoters. Folks were starting to move in. People had made money and started doing other things with their money. And me and Roger had doubled down on hip hop and bigger events and doing clubs. I mean, I had a club. I wasn't going nowhere. Okay, 86, I'm like, shit, I'm good. And I started doing doodles and Skateland and made records. Most of the guys got into other stuff. They got into real estate and insurance business or whatever the case may be. So it kind of, that was the seed money for a lot of other businesses. And I just stayed in the entertainment game. Roger and I both stayed in the entertainment game.
Cool, man. Well, let's move on to the niggaverse, Lonzo. Just put $6.43 in the spaceship. Let's do this.
All right.
Now, I guess the number one story this week out of the niggaverse would probably be the YSL camp. Now we're going back to YSL. We've talked about that extensively. That's Young Thug's RICO case that's going on down there in Atlanta. Young Slime Life. Slime is another term for blood. Gunna came out and said they're a gang, so this is moving on pretty fast. But this week, Lonzo, there has been a 3-hour interrogation video that has been released from one of Young Thug's closest, if not his best friend, YSL Woody. Now, here is the second part to that, Lonzo. It is also confirmed that YSL Woody has been cooperating with law enforcement for 11 years since 2012. He is his best friend, his right-hand man, slept on his couch. Young Thug has made him a millionaire, probably has slept with some of the most beautiful women in the world, traveled to exotic places that he would have never seen. And all that time, homeboy was feeding information to the feds.
Straight undercover spy. Well, man, that just goes to show you what you see in a lot of these movies is more real than you realize, man. Folks is actually just going out here turning the states on your ass. Simple as that. When it comes down to it, in most cases, all that homie love, when it comes down to me or you, most of the time I'm gonna choose me. And that's bottom line, man. And that's the part people understand. All that shit, homie, look, bitch, bros over hoes, blah, blah. Yeah, right. Let them folks start talking about one of them basketball scores to life with an L on the end of it, and you're gonna change your mind. And they'll let you go right there and make it so bad, man. For 11 years, that means you know a whole lot of dirt, man. You know all about this man's business, and to sit there on the at some point in time and just start telling all this business, especially when he look at you and go, man. I mean, could you imagine how heartbroken he is?
That would break my heart, homie. That would really break that part. Would fuck with me.
I'm like, dude, this dude, I did all this dude, this dude right here, and he and now all of a sudden now he is number one snitch. That's what you call it, number one testify, whatever the case may be. Yeah, that's why you don't do dumb shit, because dumb shit comes bite you in the ass. If you got to do dumb shit by yourself. That way ain't no witnesses.
Mm-hmm. The only person that could snitch on you is yourself. And sadly, we're in a generation where that's like.
Yeah, I learned that a long time ago, man. I've had my situations where I've had to make decisions, and the decisions I didn't take nobody with me. If you take somebody with you, you're pretty much taking your witness with you. You taking your witness with you, okay? Because 9 times if shit go bad, somebody gonna testify. If anybody tell a lie but you, if Abel one story and it's yours, you got a better chance of getting off. If Abel one story to be told and it's only yours, you got a much better chance of getting out of that.
Yep. Well, another news story came out this week, Lonzo. Says being a federal informant apparently pays off. Snitches who cooperate can make up to $85,000 a year.
Good,
$7,000 a month. You can actually make a nice living being a federal
informant. Man, come on, dude. That's better than McDonald's. I get to snitch on the nigga. I get to stay home and snitch on people, get $85,000 a year. Come on, man. And see, now the money is a factor. Okay. What they're gonna say is, I gotta do what I got to do. See, I had to do what I had to do, and that justifies all. And Craig, this documentary was not the Lonzo documentary; it was the Eve After Dark documentary, and that's why there was no mention of Skateland. We hadn't got to Skateland yet. That's for the other documentary. I got you. It ain't going nowhere. But this documentary was here about the Super Bowl and that whole Eve After Dark before I got to Skateland situation. So we're gonna get to that on the next one. We ain't gone nowhere yet. We ain't through. That's another documentary that's aside from the one.
That has a whole story in itself, probably in its own.
That's what I was explaining to people the other day. My story has multiple facets to it. Okay. Yes, there's Eve After Dark. Yes, there's the Wrecking Crew. Yes, there's Skateland. Yes, there's Doodles. We just focused on the Skateland. I mean, the Eve After Dark part before I got to Skateland, before I got to Doodles. But the one that Craig is in about Doodles and Skateland, that's the one that's still in post production. So I ain't forgot about you. I just got too many stories to tell. It's like Straight Outta Compton. I can't tell all my stories in 80 minutes, 90 minutes. It ain't gonna work. I gotta break them up.
Well, we can't move on without talking about Skateland a little bit. You know, we have new listeners, new subscribers all the time. Tell us, let's give Skateland some shine tonight. Tell us the importance about Skateland to Los Angeles.
Skateland, man, became one of the primary venue. Well, fuck it. Hold on, let me call Craig. Right, he online. Let me call Craig. Let them tell you about Skateland shit.
You know, I kind of, you know, but
I know you set me up.
Do that.
Let me call Craig. Answer the phone, Craig. I'm finna call you right quick.
I love these stories. Hey, hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed already, and please hit that like button. You are tuned in to N.W.A. Stories with Lonzo.
That's how we do
Craig
it.
Craig Schweischinger, who was the owner of Skateland USA, which, you know your West Coast history, you know the name. If not, go down that rabbit hole. If you don't know much about West Coast hip hop, go down that rabbit hole, please. Type in Skateland USA and just go down that rabbit hole. We have a few videos.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up, Craig? How you doing, Doc?
Hey, I'm excited to see your documentary about Eve After Dark. That'll be thrilling.
Yes. Thank you, Doc. It's pretty much done. We had our first screening this week, and it was great turnout. Now everybody's looking for the N.W.A. Lonzo documentary. That's the one that includes Skateland and Doodles, and it covers a lot. How you doing today, man?
Hey, we're doing good. When I was looking at your posts on your New York trip,
okay,
and I was thinking, oh man, he's back there trying to patch up with them East Coast people.
No, in fact, I was supposed to see.
And you know, they're not going to give us any play. Period.
You know what? I was trying to hook up with my co-host from my Thursday show, Dr. Dre. I didn't have time to see him, man. We tried, and I was so busy. And they had me so busy between the classes and the reading and trying to get my body adjusted to the time zone. It was hard, but I got through it. How they treating you, man?
Hey, we're just doing all right. Everything's good. You know, when I was with the city of Westminster, they took us on a trip to New York to sell some bonds.
Okay.
And it's like you said, it's another world.
Another world, man.
It's another world made out of money. It was amazing.
I stayed on Park Avenue, dude, and I've never seen so many high-end shops just walking down the street. Everything was Chanel, everything was whatever, Bloomingdale's. Yeah. I mean, it was not, you know, it was like I was on Century City on steroids, you know, the entire city. And then everything is built up. Everything looks like downtown LA. You know, downtown LA is maybe about 10 blocks. Yeah. No, the whole city's downtown LA. Okay.
It just looks like a rodeo drive over.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. And I didn't ride the subway, but I heard it under my feet though. You know, it just was a different vibe, man. Totally different. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, and I hear it's going to be pretty rewarding for you in this city. That's good.
I'm hoping it is, Doc. I'm looking forward to it. We got a meeting with the mayor in a couple of days to discuss our some of the things we went over, and I'm hoping at some point in time, Michael Bloomberg will cut a check for Compton and make some changes in the CPT.
Did the mayor go on the trip?
No, she went to another session they had a mayor session first. And then she came back and chose people to go in for the big session with we had city officials and they call it stakeholders. They don't call them city, they call them stakeholders, and stakeholders in Compton. So I was one of the stakeholders.
Hey, well, I'm glad to know that you're still keeping Compton alive. That's good.
I'm doing what I do, Doc. I'm doing what I'm doing. So what's it? Talk to me. Dusty had a question about Skateland, man.
Yeah. What's up, man? Thank you for joining us again, dude.
No problem.
Yeah. So, Skateland USA. Talk to us about Skateland USA. And I know we've done this
Here's the
before,
thing,
but we have
Dusty.
new listeners.
Okay, now listen up. When you say Skateland USA, you gotta put the Compton on the end of it. Skateland USA Compton. There
There you
are
go.
about 60 Skateland USAs across the country.
I didn't know
But
that.
we were Skateland USA Compton.
Wow.
If you say that, we'll never have any problems.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell everybody about, give us the good, the bad, and the ugly about Skateland USA Compton.
You know, it's like I used to tell the parents when we would have parent meetings before we got our permit. We would have some tables in back of the building, and we'd have punch and cookies, and I'd invite people over, and I'd tell them, if you're hesitant to send your kids here, don't be. Once they enter these gates, I'll take care of them. I'm in charge of them. Outside the gate, they're your responsibility. If you pick them up on time, we're never going to have a problem. And I think that was the significance is the parents never really got the grasp on what I was talking about. I had people that lived in a neighborhood that never been there because they were afraid of the gangs. And that was the bad part, is there was, but if you saw Streets of Compton, they did a report and some graphics, and I think there were like 28 known street gangs in that general perimeter of Compton, South LA, and Long Beach. I mean, there was a lot of gang activity going on. So for us, and Lonzo attests to this, it was a constant battle dealing with these hard hits. But we got pretty good at it. We got real good at it.
Yeah, it takes a little doing though. It ain't for the faint of heart. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah,
it's expensive dealing with these gangsters. You got to bring a lot of people on. Not that you anticipate trouble, but if there is some, you got to be able to deal with it.
right. You ain't got time to make no phone calls. There's no time to make phone calls when it's about to go down, okay? And
No,
if you do, they ain't coming.
You can't talk to the attractive young girls when they put their arm around you. No doubt, no way.
Well,
Let me ask you. In Lonzo's Eve After Dark documentary, he was asked a question. He was asked, "What was the number one problem that you had, or who gave you the biggest problem?" And Lonzo's answer was the police. The police always harassing him and messing with him. What was your experience like at Skateland with the local police officers?
My situation was a little bit different because when I went to Planning Commission to get my permit, they required me to hire off-duty police officers. So where I would get security, local security guys from the neighborhood, for $8, $10, $12. I was hiring cops for $18 to $24. So my cost doubled. And I can't say they were really worth the money, because when something would go down, the first thing they would do is come over and get me and say, "Hey, there's some shit going down over there. You better get your guys on it." And then they would kind of back off. It's like they wanted to sit at the metal detector, which we were required to have by the Planning Commission, a regular airport style metal detector, which I had to send my people out to get trained on it. And I think Alonzo ended up with that metal detector. I never saw it again after I closed. Anyway, but we did that. We did that for quite a while with Compton Police, and then I finally realized I can hire twice as many guys for what I'm paying them. And cut the contract and modified my permit. That was the deal.
Yeah, that was a different time.
Yeah. Were there times? Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dusty. No, go ahead, Dusty. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Were there times that unfortunately, you know, I know you had metal detectors and you tried your best to keep things out, but were there times that unfortunately, you know, things got in, like weapons?
No, we never had any. We only had one. We only had one incident with a firearm inside. We used to pick up a couple shoe boxes full of surgical scissors, razor knives, ice picks, a lot of ice picks. The girls had most of the stuff in their purse.
Yep.
You know, a guy would hit the front door and he'd see this big sign, metal detector, you know, no firearms. They'd flatter, turn around, go back to their car. But the one shooting we had inside was I think it was Mixmaster Spade's crew came in, and one of his guys had a 22 in his sock, little Saturday night special, and it went off and shot him in the leg.
Oh, his gun shot him?
Yeah, he shot himself.
Wow. Okay.
Pulling it out. And then they come running into me. Craig. So his name is so-and-so is shot. I said, how did that happen? Oh, he just had a gun. You got to call an ambulance. And I said, no. You got to put him in the car and drop him off in front of Martin Luther King. That's what you got to do. I cannot have that on my report on Monday morning when it goes to the police chief.
Right.
I couldn't do that. They'd have closed me down for 2 weeks.
Right. See, people don't understand when there's a situation that happens at any venue. There's a police report, and there's it goes on your annual report. And if you have something like that, all that stuff adds up at the end of the year. Come time for permits again, all that stuff will bite you in the ass.
Yeah, and they'll call you. They'll bring you in for permit renewal.
Yep.
And deny it for a week or 2 weeks.
Yep.
You know, until you've told them I've remediated all that stuff.
Yep.
So we couldn't have that.
Yep, that's very true. That's very true.
Yeah. But listen, it's good talking with you guys.
Always, Greg. Always, man. Everything else good with you?
All right, we're good. If you ever have a question about Skateland on these shows, give me a call. You know,
got it.
Pick it up.
You got it. All right, dude.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Doc.
Bye.
All right. My man Craig from Skateland, craziest white man in Compton.
History right there.
Yes, sir. Yep, that's how we do it, folks, right here. Craziest white man in Compton. That's what he said. You gonna do what in Compton off of Pyro? You got to be crazy. Well, he made it happen, man. I think he did it for like 6 years, 5 or 6 years. Something like that. It was a nice little run. And it wasn't like he was shut down. He's like, you know what? It's time to roll on. Craig was always he's a real estate man. He's a real estate businessman. You know, okay, I got it over here. I get my money out of this now. Let's make it happen. Next.
Man. You know what? Let's give him some game, Lonzo, and kind of wrap up the show with. And I'm getting an echo, so I apologize if you guys are out there as well. But I came across this quote, and I want to get your opinion on it. Russ, who is a very popular rapper, R-U-S-S, Russ, very popular and really good rapper, one of the younger cats. He put a quote up. He says, and I quote, "Getting a line of credit from a bank to fund your career is a much smarter idea than signing to a label." What are your thoughts on that?
If you put yourself in a position where you can get a line of credit from the bank, it will definitely be a much better, a lower risk, and you can control your destiny a lot better and maintain ownership of your masters, all that. But you got to be able, you got to be able to play the game, and that's the difference. Most people don't know how to play the game. There's different YouTube videos and TikTok videos tell you how to get credit, corporate credit. You got to stack a little bit of money. A lot of times, they'll want you to be in business for a certain amount of time, and a lot of times, man, you just take some of your money out of your from your job and put it in your business account and look like you're making money, and spend the money from your business account as opposed to your personal account, and look like you have some income and expenses to create the illusion that you are doing something and getting it done. Meanwhile, pay your phone bill. If you got a car, don't pay it on time, because at some point in time in the very beginning, you're going to need some kind of, probably going to need a personal guarantee to make sure that you can get the line of credit. But with today's situation being what it is, with the marketing and the marketing and the production of a record being, the cost being a lot different, you can get a regional hit and get your money back in a matter of days, and you can go to work if you're not playing. If you're not saying anything stupid that's going to enhance or entice rivalry or create some ops for you, okay? Like I said before, I had to me and a guy got into a major argument. We both on this podcast. Old dude, he old as I am. Yeah, man. I'm up in Chicago. I only fuck with GDs and vice lords, man, because if I fuck with a vice lord, I know he got 100,000 people ready to support him. Yeah, but you got 100,000 people looking to kill your ass too. How is this gonna work? So if you make music that's not going to put you in a position where you're gonna be hunted, or you're limited to where you can go and get yourself 500, 1,000, 2,000, whatever the case may be, and build your career and not be on the check-in list every time you go someplace. You can make it. Yes, you can make it. You can definitely make it, but you can't do it hating on certain groups and creating havoc. And although some people see that as being a fast way to success, it's always a fast way to the graveyard too, or to jail. Ask YSL.
Man, facts on that, dude. You know, while we're at it, Lonzo, talk to these kids about the importance of credit and how it's important to keep good credit and how that can get you very far in life.
You know, credit has got me through, and I ain't always had good credit. I had to learn about credit. When I finally figured it out, I became a master. Okay. Credit got me through bad times, rough times, tough times. Sometimes you have to make a decision, and if you got a credit card with a nice balance or a nice available balance on it, you can make some things happen. When I wanted to build my studio, I didn't have no cash money. I knew I had cash money coming, but I had to make this project. So I got my American Express card, bought my first recording system, MG1212, cost me $6,000. And I realized that when you buy something on American Express, if you buy it by a certain time, it don't get built till the next month. It don't get built till the next.
Exactly. You have almost
got 2 months to let it ride with. Okay. So if you go to the right time, I had American Express Gold card. What I would do is when we got a gig, I'd do a gig all in. I'd buy all the plane tickets. So I got all the points, all the credits, and I built my credit like that. And it wasn't until we got stiff. I bought plane tickets before I got the money. But I was trying to make sure we got a good price on them, and the gig got canceled, messed me up. But I bounced back from it. Nonetheless, because when you got good credit, it's nothing like, dude, the freedom of being able to get what you need when you need it, as opposed to about to borrow from somebody else. And that's just something, man, that any grown man, any grown woman need to have. I tell my son, you need to have, you got a car. You need to have a credit card with at least a $2,500 limit on it. Your car is paid for already. Two credit cards you need to have at all times. And that's a American Express or a Visa. I mean, a MasterCard or a Visa with at least a $2,500 limit on it. And don't use it, but use it as little as possible. And a gas credit card. That way you can always get back and forth to work. If nothing else, you can get back and forth to work. I've had situations where my money got tight. And the only reason why I was able to get the money because I was able to make the meeting and get the check. Because I didn't have no cash, but I had my Shell. I got a Shell credit card. I had from 1984. I got 1982. I got my first Shell credit card, and that son of a gun has got me through some tough times. It got me in places I had to be, and when I didn't have the cash, walked in that place hungry walk in hungry, hoping they have some water or something, some snacks or something. And back that Shell credit card got me there and back, and it got me through. Yes, sir. Get you and stay away from store credit cards. Stay away from store credit cards. Don't stay away from store credit cards unless the store is in your business. What I mean by that is I have a Sweetwater account because if I want to buy me need me a new microphone for my studio or something, I may finance that. It keeps my MasterCard, my Visa card limits from going up. So it gives you a little sidetrack, but the interest on those cards are a lot higher. So it's always good to have some options, and having good credit is a form of resources. You know, being resourceful is a powerful thing. It's a man thing. It's a woman thing. If you are going to Vegas and you blow a tire and you got AAA, you ain't worried, okay? If you blow a tire and you got a credit card in your pocket, you ain't worried. Okay, when you ain't got no credit card, you ain't got no AAA, and you blow a tire, your life just changed for the next 4 to 5 hours, because now you stressing, how I'm gonna get home, I'm gonna get to Vegas. I'm in the desert, I'm over here, I ain't got no money, I gotta call somebody. Yeah, it's easier now with Cash App and Venmo and shit like that. But back in the day, if you didn't go to a Western Union, you were stuck. You were stuck. You had to go to Western Union. Man, now you can get your money through Venmo or Cash App. Somebody can Cash App you the money, you know, or back and forth. You ain't that stuck. But always, I tell anybody, a few things a grown man got to have. If you have a vehicle, you have to have a AAA card with the Premier on it. Okay, Premier is up to 100 miles. AAA Premier is 100 miles, okay? And trust me, I've used it. I bought a car. I drove my ass to Riverside. My uncle lived at was just shy of 100 miles. I bought his van, drove up there, bought his van, and called AAA. They told that motherfucker from Riverside to the pad. It was less than 100 miles. That's no bullshit, okay? That's no bullshit. Van didn't run. I got it home, fixed it up and drove it for a while. So you got to have certain kind of things. When you got credit, you got AAA, you can move, you can maneuver, and don't let people use your shit up. Oh man, let me use your AAA. Don't if a nigga won't pay his phone bill, what make you think he gonna pay his? Girls, especially females. Oh no. Put that you put her on your phone, on your damn phone bill, or he put you on your phone bill. As soon as you break up, fuck you in that phone. Ask me how I know. I just seen it too many times. Oh, that was my girl. Blah, 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 blah. If somebody would snitch on your ass after 11 years and get paid $85,000 for you to snitch on your ass, you think they're gonna pay a phone bill if they break up with you? You think they're gonna pay that phone bill? You really think that? Because y'all bumping uglies right now. That iPhone looking good. Y'all FaceTiming and shit. Everybody kicking it real tough. And all of a sudden, another nigga walked by in the back of the video. Now you mad. Okay. It was on her phone. You ain't paying that bill. You're not paying that bill. Okay. Now she got to pay for the bill and the phone. And you know the phone nowadays is high as hell. And all of a sudden now she mad and her credit is bad that she can't get nothing. She can't get no apartment. She can't get nothing because your ass or y'all fell out behind this iPhone and vice versa. A girl walked by your fucking phone in the mirror, okay? She ain't behind you. She forgot there's a mirror behind you. So she walked in front of the goddamn mirror and you on there FaceTiming your girl and she got this other chick got a blunt in the mouth and her drawers. Come on, man. You just set yourself up for bad credit. It's not going to work. It's not going to look good. Okay. So my daddy always called a cosigner a fool with a pen. Okay. If it ain't your child, okay. If it ain't your child, I'm talking about not even sisters and brothers, man. If it ain't your kid, your kids you trying to help get something established. If somebody else that messed theirs up, it's going to be real hard. If they don't respect their credit, how they going to respect yours? Think about that. If they don't respect you, now I understand people have problems. If you know a person real well and they just had some serious bad luck, you want to help them get back on their feet, maybe consider it, but you know this person got to be responsible. And something happened to put them in this position. And you may be sympathetic, but again, always be careful. Okay? But for the most part, no. Okay? No. Because if you mess up your credit, you damn sure mess up mine and keep on going. It's happened before. Trust me. I've done people favors before. I'm like, dude, when you was over here damn near crying about what you needed, you was all humble. Oh man, fuck it now. Oh, that's how niggas end up in the penitentiary. That's how people end up in the penitentiary. Motherfucker, you was over here damn near crying because you needed so and so and so. So I gave it to you. I helped you out. Now fuck me. Okay.
Yeah. Here's your phone.
Oh yeah.
$200.
It wasn't funky when you needed it. I had a cousin. That was his line. I mean, let me hold $5, cuz. Let me hold $5. All right, here you go. Bro, whatever that $5. I'll give you my little old funky ass $100. Well, funky ass $5. Nigga, when did it get funky? Because it's time to pay it back. Okay, that's when it gets funky. So yeah, it gets real serious when it's time to give it back, folks. Yes. Hey man, Dusty, it's an hour and passed by, man.
Good stuff, man. Dang, this flew by, man. Love these Tuesdays. If you guys enjoyed that, please hit the like button before you exit the building. And once again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Someone in the audience asked where they can find the documentary. Lonzo's working on getting some more screenings. He mentioned Long Beach earlier, so you will definitely hear it here where you can watch the documentary.
We got next locked in. Y'all will be the first
Lonzo.
one to know. We out of here, folks. Thank you very much. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Dusty, much love to you, Doc. Man, thanks for the video you did also on the documentary, man. That was pretty dope. I appreciate that. All right, folks. We out of here. Peace.